Wait, so we have to look in the lens to see each other. Hey, Coop.
Hi.
Here I am. I'm over here at our apartment, quarantining because I have COVID.
And I am over here at the studio. I guess kind of quarantining
You're also
because
sick.
I'm really, really sick.
But because all the equipment's at the studio, you had to go there. So you have to go to the studio because half the gear's there, half the gear's at our place. I can't leave the house. Although I've been naughty. I do go to the corner store to get food, but I try to get enough to last for a few days. But I still have to go sometimes.
How many people have you killed because of your incessant need to eat food?
I probably killed a couple.
So
whenever
selfish.
I walk by a fat person, I'm like, oh, fuck, I just killed that motherfucker. God damn it. It is what it is, though. That's life.
I honestly can't believe that I've gotten 2 negative COVID tests, even though I'm feeling like I'm literally dying.
Yeah, we were making out like right before I got COVID, so...
Hey, come on, man. I got a girlfriend now. You can't be talking about that stuff.
No, I'm joking.
We weren't making out. Yeah, obviously.
But even though I have COVID, and even though you're sick as hell, we're still here for the final episode of the series on Halloween, and I have corpse paint on.
Yeah, you sent me a picture of that. It's looking pretty good. I was going to do the same, but I just don't have the energy to... Well, I did dress up. I'm dressed up as a plague victim. Yeah, I'm a plague victim.
You're a plague victim.
Welcome to the Iconoblast podcast. This is the show that takes a look behind the public facades of famous icons to show you why you can never take anything at face value. My name is Cooper, and sitting on the other side of the world from me is Joel Benner.
Hey, guys.
We put the past on blast. Hit them with the truth, with things you never knew. Nobody is safe, no thing to place. Got Joel and Coop with history in your face. Iconoblast.
Presented by GhostBed.com.
So
I can't remember the last time I tried working while I was this sick.
Oh yeah, dude. We do it for our boys. We do it for our listeners and our ladies.
Oh yeah.
We'll never miss an episode, whatever it takes. I mean, even if one of us can't be there, then someone else covers. We always have to do the show. That's our Bible.
Yep. Come hell or high water, we will be producing a new episode every single week.
That's right. Every fucking week for the rest of our lives. Until this corpse paint's a reality and I just am a skull and crossbones.
It's a new episode every week for the rest of our lives. That might not be a whole lot longer because I feel like I am dying.
Yeah. We might both be dead soon.
So you feel like talking about witches today?
Is that what we're doing? We're doing witches? I thought it was ghosts.
Yep. Witches. Well, it was. I tried putting the episode together and I realized that we talked about ghosts during my birthday episode.
We did kind of dig into them hard, yeah.
And I pretty much said everything that I had to say about ghosts, which is that I don't believe in them. So I figured that's already been done.
What about Casper?
Casper's definitely real.
Okay. And Slimer.
Yeah, Slimer's real, Casper's real. But, I mean, those are Hollywood ghosts. They don't count.
Vigor?
Who? Who's Vigor?
Wasn't it Vigor? No, it's Igor? No, Vigor. It's from Ghostbusters, the guy in the painting.
Oh, no, that was...
Pelagor? Mordor, that's what it was. It was Mordor. Yeah,
Mordor, that's what it was for sure.
So witches then. You last minute change up, origins of witches?
Yeah, a little bit on the history of witches, and then a little bit of information about the Salem witch trials.
What is that?
Salem witch trials?
Like a cool tournament or something?
Yeah, it was a a very serious tournament back in the late 1600s.
That's cool.
Where they were checking to see who can hold their breath the longest when they get hung from a tree.
But it was... Oh, shit. I think I could win that. Dude, one of my closest friends, you met him, Noe. One of my high school buddies. He used to hold his breath. He wanted to be a Navy SEAL, so he would hold his breath in the sink for 5 minutes at a time. I think so Not that I could do it, but he could win this tournament.
Oh, that's to be a Navy SEAL. That's all you need to be able to do is stick your head in the sink and hold your breath for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I used to shove.
That's all. That's all Bud's training is, I think.
Dude, when he would put his head in the sink, I'd be bored, and I was way more hyper than I am now. I would hit him with sticks. I grabbed a broom and shoved it up his ass. I hit him with the broom as hard as I could in the back, and he would just hold his head, under the water. Coop, you look different.
If he
just a elephant in the room, I keep forgetting to stare at the lens when I talk to you, but I'm supposed to look into the lens. This is weird. I'm looking at a camera instead of you.
Yeah, I've been trying to remind myself to look at the lens.
When we normally talk on the phone and shit, we kind of just like bitch, shit talk, and I go for a walk, or you'll be in the middle of a walk, and I like pace around the apartment while I talk to you. So now I have to focus and stare at the lens.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna forget to do that quite a bit.
Fuck it. This is a crazy, weird episode. We're both sick. I've got COVID. You've got some sort of rare immune disorder. You have cancer. So it's a tough episode.
Yeah, I have no idea what I have. It feels terrible. I can tell you that much. I've got congestion, fever, like a fever that just won't go away.
But you got a COVID test, and it's not COVID.
My skin hurts. Yeah, I've gotten 2 COVID tests at this point, and both of them came back negative.
I think what you have is called being a pussy.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Sorry, I had to make some fucking joke about that.
And it's killing me.
I've been fucking sick for like 12 days, so it's not fun.
Yeah, I thought I was starting to get better, and then that lasted for maybe a day or a day and a half, and then it just all came back again. It's not as bad as it was before, but it still sucks.
I don't think I'm as sick as you now. Like, I think I'm on the tail end of this. I just have to quarantine because of work and just try to be a good person, even though I've kind of been fucking off and going out in public anyway. I feel for you, man. I hope you get better soon. Heal up.
I hope so, too. It's got to be a pain in the ass for my girlfriend because she's been taking very, very good care of me, which I appreciate, but God, it must be like living with a fucking invalid.
Well, get your shit together and heal up and quit being a pussy.
I'm trying to. It's easier said than done.
Isn't that a thing, like, in general, like, men are pussies when they catch a cold or if they get sick, like, isn't the general consensus, like, men can't handle that shit and women can?
That's what I've always heard, and I've been trying to not fall into that trope.
I feel like you have kind of fallen into that. But
yeah. For the most part.
I mean, I've got COVID right now, the most deadly disease on the planet, and I'm like going for jogs. I don't care. I'm doing drugs. I'm smoking, toking, jacking, jerking. I'm fine.
Going out to bars, going to restaurants.
I don't even
licking doorknobs.
These symptoms are weak, dude.
Shaking hands with strangers and kissing babies. You're going around like you're on a campaign to get a
this shit's a joke. If you got COVID and you complained about it too, you're a pussy ass bitch, dog. No,
aside from the people who died from it.
That was a really bad joke. I apologize for that. When you have COVID, it fucks with your brain and it makes your head weird, so you say stupid shit you don't mean. I don't mean it. I know that for everybody it's different. For me, my symptoms have not been severe. They've just been fucking annoying. But I still have to quarantine, so I'm just hiding out in my house. Anyone that's suffering and anyone that's lost someone, from COVID, I'm sorry for my shitty joke. That's life.
Yeah, Joel.
Yeah, that's life, baby. Shitty jokes all day. Let's get into the topic, Coop, before I get myself into more trouble.
The belief in witchcraft has existed for pretty much all of recorded history. One of the earliest written records comes from the Bible in the Book of Samuel, which was thought to be written between 931 BC and 721 BC.
Wait, the Book of Samuel? Oh, shit, never mind.
What?
I thought it was the guy with the lion's jaw. Or the jaw of a jackass.
Oh, Samson.
Samuel, Samson, never mind, continue.
Yeah, close enough.
Samson's a great guy.
In the story, King Saul seeks out the Witch of Endor to summon the dead prophet Samuel's spirit to help him defeat the Philistine army.
The Witch
Samuel's
of Endor?
Spirit? Yeah, I knew that you were going to key in on that.
Come on!
She wasn't an Ewok witch. Although, you've seen the Battle of Endor, right? Or is it not the Battle of Endor?
Yeah, Battle of Endor.
What was the?
I played that level.
What was the Ewok movie? Do you remember the Ewok movie?
It was called Ewoks 1 and 2. There's There's 2 of them.
There was 2 of them?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I only remember seeing one of them.
Wait, so the Ewoks had a witch that they prayed to?
Yeah, the Witch of Endor. So who knew that Ewoks are actually part of the Bible?
So the Witch of the Witch of Endor moved to America, and then what happened?
No, this wasn't in America. This was in the Middle East somewhere.
No. God is from America.
Samuel's spirit then predicts the death of King Saul and his sons. The following day, Saul's sons die in battle, leading Saul to commit suicide. So that was the earliest written record of a witch.
Wait, so when Star Wars says a long time ago in a galaxy far away, that's true. There was a witch from Endor, and she came here and did what she did, and then she died.
Sure.
Yeah.
I can get away with image.
I like this. Now that you're sick and you're a little feeling like this, you are just putting up with my shit now. This is awesome.
Oh, I have zero fight in me right now.
Yeah, this is great. I love this. I was right. There's a witch from there's a witch from the planet Endor that she probably stole an Imperial shuttle and flew to the Earth, and then did some witchcraft on some people around here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The classic image of a witch usually includes a pointy hat and a broom, which both have interesting origins. Prior to the 1700s, witches were normally portrayed as not wearing hats at all, instead having their hair wreathed in fire. Like the fortunes of Henry Ford and what?
What do you mean wreathed in fire?
You can just picture like their heads are on fire.
Oh, okay, so like the first witches look like their heads are on fire.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, something like that.
I actually didn't know that at all.
Neither did I.
Is that where like Ghost Rider came from?
I think yes.
So Ghost Rider could have been a witch. Anyway, that's dumb.
Yes.
That's a dumb one. You disagree with everything now? You're gay.
I don't have the energy for anything else. No, that I have proof that's not true.
Just because you're banging doesn't mean there's a lot of gay husbands out there with their wives, female wives.
Like the fortunes of Henry Ford and Walt Disney, the pointy hat can be traced back to good old-fashioned anti-Semitism. In 1215, during the reign of Pope Innocent III, the Fourth Council of Lateran ordered all Jewish people to identify themselves by wearing a cone-shaped hat called a Juden hat.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I know I'm interrupting like every 10 seconds right now, but what was... His name was Unison? Uterus?
What? Whose name?
You said a name that was funny, and I tried not to say anything, and I already forgot it, so just continue. Fuck. Wait,
are you talking about the Juden hat?
No. Restart the paragraph. I'm sorry, Coop.
In 1215, during the reign of Pope Innocent III, Fourth Council of...
His name is Innocent?
Yeah.
Pope Innocent. Come on, that's not funny to you?
Pope Innocent III.
Pope Innocent. So, how many popes are innocent? They're all fucking kids. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Continue.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Pope Innocent.
By 1431, some legal codes began requiring first-time sorcery offenders to wear these same peaked Jews' caps, and by the 1700s, the pointed hat became synonymous with witchcraft and sorcery, leading to the current portrayal of witches as we know them today.
Okay.
Now, the broom riding, I know that it's going to be hard for me
so if you were
to get through this.
I'm just trying to. I'm sorry, dude. I have COVID, so like my It's a fact. It's in the documents by our government. It fucks with your head. Confusion is one of the symptoms. So you're saying that when there was people that acted a certain way, they had to wear witch hats?
By act a certain way, you mean Jewish?
Yes. So if you acted like you were Jewish, you had to wear a witch hat.
Yes, but it didn't necessarily look like the classic witch hat at that point. It just kind of turned into that over time.
What color was it?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, well, I don't know. In my head, when you're saying that, it was like you said Jews, witch hat. I'm thinking the KKK hat. Like, is there like some weird fucking thing where like a cone is a bad thing, and just like naturally in our psyche as humans, like the movie Coneheads fucking suck too. So like,
true. Well, like you've seen a dunce cap, right?
Yeah, dunce cap's also a cone.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, similar
a cone
to that.
is like a punishment tool. I never thought about that.
A cone can definitely be a punishment tool depending on what you do with it. The broom riding is a little bit harder to trace, but the first image of a witch riding a broomstick comes from the margins of the 1451 edition of French poet Marine Lefranc's The Defender of the Ladies. According to some interpretations, the broom represents the domestic duties of a woman while also being phallic in nature. The act of riding a broom is a symbol of feminine sexuality gone wild, and therefore a threat to anything with a penis.
Holy shit. I like this.
Oh, wait till we get into this next part. There's one more theory about the use of brooms as a mode of transportation for witches, and it has to do with something called flying ointment.
Flying what?
Flying ointment.
Flying ointment, okay.
Flying ointment was a hallucinogenic compound thought to be used by witches in Europe to help them enter a trance.
Oh.
To explain how the compound was
trance?
ingested... Oh, well... Possibly. To explain how the compound was ingested, I will refer to a quote from a German book with a name I can't pronounce that was published in 1901. Quote, "The witches confessed that they anoint a staff and ride on it to the appointed place or anoint themselves under the arms and in other hairy places." To put it bluntly, the witch would rub a hallucinogenic ointment on their broom and then grind their meat flaps on it so it could be absorbed by the mucous membranes, causing them to trip balls so hard they thought they were flying. There's even a rough recipe for anybody who would like to try this themselves. Yeah, here's the recipe right here.
Wait, this is a real thing. Like this is historic knowledge.
Yes, this is real.
My hair's
Quote,
sticking to my fucking shitty corpse paint makeup. It's annoying.
In order to arouse feelings of love or hatred, or to inflict death or disease on the bodies of the faithful, they made use of powders, unguents, ointments, and candles of fat, which are compounded as follows. They took the entrails of cocks sacrificed to demons, certain horrible worms, various unspecified herbs, dead men's nails, the hair, brains, and shreds of the cerements of boys who were buried unbaptized, with other abominations, all of which they cooked with various incantations over a fire of oak logs and a vessel made out of the skull of a decapitated thief. So if you want to make some of this flying ointment, you're going to have to track down all that stuff, which might be a little hard to come by.
So it really is a witch's brew.
Yep.
To make a witch?
And then you would take that and rub it on your vagina.
But you'd rub it on your broom, and so what are the
exact
rub
that on your vagina.
Yeah, but what are the ingredients? Oh, it's all just it's all bullshit, is what you're saying. Like it was so fucking sexy that that would make women think they were flying. They weren't actually flying, or is there an ingredient in there that actually makes you fly?
No, it just makes you trip balls.
So, that's really complicated to get all those things, but that sounds like a great time.
Or you could just get some acid or shrooms.
Just try one of the
DMT.
Yeah, just do normal drugs.
Yeah, and put that on a broom and stick it in your butthole.
Put that on your broom and smoke it.
The traditional portrayal of...
So really the hat is racist and the broomstick is perverted as hell.
Yep.
But then it slowly became like, oh, it's for kids. What the hell?
Yeah.
Holy shit. I didn't know
and
that at all.
And now we have Harry Potter.
And they're on brooms, too. And you know that motherfucker that wrote that shit, because didn't she get Me Too'd?
No, she didn't get Me Too'd. I mean, there are people that say that she's transphobic, but, I mean, fuck.
Oh, she got tranlocked or
transphobic.
What?
Tranlocked?
I don't know. I made that up. But, yeah, that bitch, you know she knew what you just said. And she put all those little kids on those brooms. And in her mind, they were on drugs and they were fucking each other.
Yeah, Harry Potter is just
it's
thinly
perverted.
veiled child pornography. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been saying that for years.
Really? I never even thought about it till right now when I found out about the origins of fucking bedknobs and broomsticks.
Yeah, where do you think those bedknobs and broomsticks are being jammed?
Holy shit.
The traditional portrayal of witches is a far cry from the current pop culture interpretations seen in Sabrina the Teenage Witch, although I'm sure there's some fan fiction out there where Melissa Joan Hart gets herself off with an LSD-soaked broom handle. Historically, practitioners of witchcraft were feared, shunned, and
or she trained
and executed by the thousands.
As when she practiced for the role, she did some research and did that, to just be a better witch.
You remember Clarissa Explains It All?
Yes.
I
think we've talked about her on the show.
Have we?
Well, there's Clarissa Explains It All, and then there's, what's her name?
Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Clarissa was hotter.
They're the same person.
Clarissa was hotter still.
Clarissa was...
If you want to just go fully fictional, she was the hotter one.
Clarissa was like 13 years old.
Well, I was more influential back then. I was a lot younger then.
Between 1500 and 1660, 80,000 suspected witches...
Who was the one that could zap their fingers together and freeze time?
Zap their fingers together and freeze time?
Yeah, they would go zzz with their fingers, and then, time would freeze, and then she would talk to you. Clarissa would explain shit to you. She could pause time.
Could she? I don't remember stopping time. I remember Zach Morris doing that in Saved by the Bell.
Wait, you had a crush on Zach Morris?
No.
Who would you bang, Clarissa or Sabrina?
I never thought that...
If they were
I never thought
people.
that Melissa Joan Hart was attractive, so I'd say neither one.
What if they had scales and they were half mermaid?
Damn it. Between 1500 and 1660, 80,000 suspected witches were put to death in Europe alone. Many of these deaths can be attributed to the...
Wait, how many?
80,000. Many of these deaths can be attributed to the publication of a book known as Malleus Maleficarum, or The Hammer of Witches. This is a real book.
Wait, they dropped 80,000 fucking people?
Yeah.
Because they thought they were witches?
Just in Europe.
Holy shit.
Written by two well-respected monks in 1486, the Malleus Maleficarum was essentially the idiot's guide to accusing single women of heresy. The book explicitly defines a witch as typically being an unmarried female and goes on to explain what makes a woman more likely to make a pact with the devil, most likely due to their lack of a penis. And there were men that were put to death for witchcraft also, but it was primarily...
Like three?
No.
Like 3 men were put to death?
Thousands of them, but nowhere near as many women. And it was primarily... either single women or widowed women that were accused of being witches because they didn't have their husband there to protect them, obviously.
Fuck.
For hundreds of years, the Malleus Maleficarum was used to justify the imprisonment, torture, and execution of men and women all over Europe. During its heyday, the book sold more copies than any other book in Europe besides the Bible. It was essentially the old-timey version.
Whoa.
It was essentially the old-timey version of a Beatles album, but arguably caused much less suffering.
Dude, so someone made up some crazy-ass shit, and, like, literally everyone just believed it.
Yeah. I mean, that would happen a lot over the course of history when everybody was dumb or dumber than they are now. I mean, anybody in a position of authority could just make some bullshit up, and everybody would just be kind of like, yeah, sounds right.
But back then, that would have been, like, on par with, believing in God and believing in the Bible, and you would have been like, oh, fuck, this is real. And it wouldn't have, it was taken dead serious, right? Like, it wasn't like, oh, it wasn't, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, in the moment, you're fucking so dumb that you actually just believed it, actually. The same as you believed that there's a God that flies around and fucking angels fly around and, like, save people. Like, you really fucking believed that there was witches.
Yeah, well...
And it was terrifying. So 80,000 fucking innocent people died.
Yes.
That's how crazy humans are. Holy shit.
That, I mean, really, if my brain was working properly, I could probably think of another example of stupid beliefs that have gotten thousands and thousands of people killed, but...
there's a lot of them. But that one's... I didn't know... I knew there was some crazy shit with witches, and I know that a lot of fucking women fucking died that shouldn't have. I didn't know it was... Even, like, just this isn't even the total cases. Like, just one case of it from this book is 80,000 that we know of.
Yeah, and that's...
It's probably
and that's
way
only
more.
Over the course of, 160 years?
Yeah, and you don't really hear much about it. They don't call it genocide. They don't call it shit like what the hell fucking Hitler was doing and Stalin and these other fucking crazy lunatics.
Yeah, it's still... Well, I mean,
that's a shit ton of
I don't
people.
think that...
I just smeared my makeup all over my eyeball. I hope I still look cool, like a cool corpse guy.
Man,
a witch casted a spell on me, and that's why I'm a corpse.
Well, I can already tell that by the end of this episode, I am going to need a nap. And you know what a good place to take a nap is? On a ghost bed. The Iconoblast podcast is presented by ghostbed.com/Drinkin' Bros. Ghostbed has been a loyal sponsor of the Drinkin' Bros for 5 years now, and everyone here in the studio is in love with their mattresses and pillows. Ghostbed makes their high-quality mattresses right here in the USA, and each mattress comes with a 20-year warranty. You can try a Ghostbed mattress for 101 nights, and if you're not completely satisfied, you can return it, no questions asked. Their mattresses and pillows have cooling technology to keep you cool at night. And I just lost my spot. I'm definitely going to need to take a nap on this Ghostbed as soon as this episode's over. You can buy a mattress for around $35 per month, and they have no money down, 0% financing plans. Ghostbed also offers bundles, so you can get everything you need in one convenient package. Just choose from their 4 mattresses and then pick your bundle. So whether you just need a mattress and a frame, or you want it all, like their cooling pillows and sheets, you can always get the best bang for your buck. The cooling pillows and sheets would have been real nice when I was fighting this fever last few days. Right now, Ghostbed is offering a flash sale where you can get 40% off when you buy a mattress and adjustable base, or 30% off of everything when you use the promo code Drinkin' Bros. Head over to ghostbed.com/Drinkin' Bros to take advantage of all their awesome deals. That's ghostbed.com/Drinkin' Bros. Ghostbed. Sleep so good, it's scary.
Sleep so good, it's scary.
This episode is also presented by Simply Safe. There's big news from our favorite home security company. Simply Safe has just launched their new wireless outdoor security camera, which means the system that U.S. News & World Report named as the best home security system of 2021 just got even better. This new outdoor security camera is engineered with all the advanced tech and features you need to keep you and your family safe. The new camera has an ultra-wide 140-degree field of view, so you can cover more of your property with each camera. It has 1080p HD resolution with an 8x zoom, which lets you zoom in and clearly see critical details like faces and license plates. It also has a built-in spotlight with color night vision, so you can keep an eye on what's going on day and night. The wireless camera runs off an easy-to-remove, rechargeable battery, which makes it perfect for places that don't have nearby power outlets. This camera easily integrates with your Simply Safe home security system, extending your protection outside of your home. To learn more about the exciting new Simply Safe wireless outdoor security camera, visit simplysafe.com/icon. What's more, Simply Safe is celebrating this new camera by offering 20% off your entire new system and first month of monitoring service free when you enroll in interactive monitoring. Again, that's simplysafe.com/icon. And our final sponsor for this episode is Shipstation. The holidays are coming up, and if you're selling anything online, it's time to prepare for the busiest time of year. Between growing your business, managing your inventory, and juggling orders, you've got a lot going on this holiday season. Make shipping the easiest part of your day with Shipstation. Figuring out the best way to ship your orders can be frustrating and confusing, but Shipstation makes it quick, easy, and convenient. You can easily import orders from any sales channel, automate just about any shipping task, and spend less time sorting through orders and more time doing what you do best. Shipstation integrates all selling channels into one simple dashboard so you can seamlessly connect carriers, print shipping labels, and get products out the door fast. Over 100,000 sellers use Shipstation in their business. Shipstation works with all of the major carriers and gives you exclusive discounts on UPS and USPS shipping, so you can compare carriers and choose the best solution for you and your customers. With Shipstation, small businesses can now access the same rates usually reserved for Fortune 500 companies without the contracts or commitments. It's never too early to start prepping for the holiday rush, so get a head start with Shipstation. Our listeners can use the offer code ICON to get a 60-day free trial just in time for the holidays. That's 2 months of stress-free holiday shipping for free. Just go to shipstation.com, click on the microphone at the top, and enter ICON. Shipstation. Make ship happen.
Nailed it. Even though you're sick and dying, you crushed those ads.
Oh, thanks, man. And it was rough getting through them.
Yeah, I thought it was the better move if I would just shut the fuck up and let you read the ads. I think that all our sponsors and shit do actually kick ass, so I don't need to say it again. I say it every time. They're the best.
That they are. As Witchmania was subsiding in Europe, the burning desire to persecute unmarried women made its way across the ocean to the New World. In the late 1600s, the colonists in America found themselves in the midst of a smallpox epidemic and under constant fear of attack from native tribes who were selfishly trying to keep their ancestral lands from being stolen. The tension created a
There's sarcasm in
yeah,
this.
there is, in case that's not showing through. The tension created a fertile breeding ground for paranoia, greed, and murder.
Ooh.
Between February of 1692
and
May of 1693, mass hysteria gripped colonial Massachusetts, leading to 150 people being accused of witchcraft. Of these 150 people, 30 were convicted and 19 were executed. An additional 5 people died in...
This book that was written in Europe when humans started discovering America, when there was already humans here, that book was still like in their heads and triggering them. It was like an easy way to blame shit.
Yeah, pretty much. And during the Salem witch trials, it was primarily...
Because germs aren't real.
Oh, no, yeah. We obviously both know that germs aren't real, and that's why we both feel so healthy right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lean back for the rest of this episode. Of the 150 people that were accused of witchcraft, 30 were convicted and 19 were executed. An additional 5 people died in jail while awaiting trial, and one ballsy son of a bitch named Giles Corey was crushed to death for refusing to enter a plea. We now know this event as the Salem witch trials. And Giles Corey, his story, I'm going to get into that towards the end of the episode, but his story is ballsy as fuck. So the trials...
his name was
Giles Corey.
So it was like Guy and like Guile from fucking...
Yeah,
Street
Guile
Fighter.
from Street Fighter.
You're already tough. You're already tough as fuck.
The trials began after 9-year-old Elizabeth Parris and 11-year-old Abigail Williams began suffering from unexplained fits of spasms and screaming. Soon, more young women began to experience these symptoms, including 12-year-old Ann Putnam Jr., who just so happened to be part of a family taking part in a feud with the Porter family. It is likely that...
Wait, so...
What?
What are these spasms and shit?
They would just...
Is this made up? Is this bullshit?
It was like they were... It's like
saying...
they were having painful seizures, but we'll get into some of the theories about what could have possibly caused it towards the end of the episode.
It was the fact they were just being normal, annoying women, and the men were like, they're being witches.
Pretty close, but they were actually having these screaming fits, and they'd have seizures and spasms and all this other stuff. But it's very likely that the following events were heavily influenced by this rivalry going on between two families.
Fuck, that's crazy. Okay.
Mass hysteria took hold of the community, and the first accusations of witchcraft followed shortly thereafter. Sarah Good, Sarah Osborne, and a slave woman named Tituba were the first to be declared as witches. After a harsh interrogation, Tituba confessed to being a witch and began accusing others in the area of using black magic.
I'm raising my hand, but you can't see it, so I'm telling you I'm raising my hand.
Yes, Joel, do you have a question?
Her name was Tortuga?
Tituba. Tituba. She was from South America,
Tituba.
I believe. Sarah Good was a poor woman accused pretty much entirely because of her reputation as being kind of a bitch. Osborne was targeted because she rarely...
Wait, who? Who
Sarah
was a bitch?
Good.
Sarah Good, of course. I've never met a Sarah that was nice.
Oh, definitely not. Well, no, I think I have.
I haven't met one that's nice.
Sarah Osborne was targeted because she rarely attended church services and had the gall to marry an indentured servant of all things, which are both obviously surefire signs of a pact with the devil, and Tituba wasn't white, so obviously she was up to no good. I'm pretty much positive that's why she was accused of being a witch, is just because she was like one of the only non-white people in Salem at the time.
And her name was Tortuga.
Tituba.
Oh, Tituba.
Or Tituba.
Which is worse than Tortuga. Inner tube.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's
close
fucked
enough.
up. But and then Sarah Osborne.
Sarah Good, Sarah Osborne, and Tituba.
So this was the birth of the Osborne family.
Was it?
It seems like it. Witches and witchcraft and fucking fucked up shit and weirdo shit. This might be got our boy, you know. Got some great songs.
Except this was happening in America, and Ozzy is from...
Oh, he's from fucking... He's a Brit. Oh, well, there goes that theory.
A lot of the evidence...
Well, you never know. You never know where, like, you know, your sperm can go. Like,
oh God,
like my situation, for example. Like,
I know mine gets just everywhere. I mean, I don't think there's a single inch of this studio that isn't just covered in my seed.
I got nothing.
I made you speechless.
I don't trust. Yeah, I don't trust a single Sarah. Never have. I never met a Sarah that was nice. The only
Sarah Connor.
I was about to say the only Sarah. I mean, you can't trust her. She's fucking insane. She'll think you're a Terminator and kill you. But she was tough as fuck, and she was a badass.
Yeah.
Sarah Connor's the only one you could... Ah, fuck. I trust Sarah Connor. Okay, that's
me
fine,
too.
But I trust that she will also kill me if necessary.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, probably even if it wasn't necessary, if she just got pissed off at you.
Like if we were hanging out and drinking, and maybe I was like, oh shit, I might be able to bang Sarah Connor. Like, okay, a couple more drinks, talking, joking, throwing... You know, doing the best I can, like, dude.
Well,
so
hang on.
Cool
Let's get one thing straight. You don't bang Sarah Connor. Sarah Connor would bang you.
Yeah, that's true. That really is true. But, like, let's say it's going down, right? And the future is not what you make for yourself and all that bullshit. And we're hanging out, and, like, there's a chain gun. And the Terminator and John Connor are over there, like, collecting equipment in the desert. And I'm that Mexican dude. You know, you're pretty jumpy, Connor. that guy. And we're hanging out drinking tequila, and I'm like, oh shit, maybe I can get some tonight, right? And we're joking around, we're fucking around. I got my best jokes out. It's looking good. Like, even though Sarah Connor's definitely fucked up, she's got a way bigger picture. She's dealing with saving the world. I'm just this Mexican dude that's collecting fucking.
She's got a much
snake
much
heads.
bigger penis than yours.
Well, that's yet to be said because I haven't got there yet. I'm trying to see what we got, and I throw down an Arnold voice, right? So like I'm.
Well,
fucking
wouldn't that make
around,
her
want to
kill you?
I'm like, that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm like,
Oh.
look, so I'm playing my best move. This is the Sarah Connor I trust. This is why you can't trust any Sarahs. I drop my go-to is when I'm drunk. I just start talking like Arnold, right? So I'd be like, hey, so what are you doing later? Maybe you could come over to my house and maybe you could fuck me.
So
and then she would think I was
so
a Terminator and she'd
what
kill
you're
me.
telling me right now is you're still a virgin. If that's your go-to,
I think you can trust Sarah Connor until she thinks you're a Terminator is what I'm trying to say.
yeah, I believe that.
And I've had sex before.
But
only once.
I have a harder time believing that, but I believe that you can trust Sarah Connor. A lot of the evidence used was what is known as spectral evidence, which pretty much translates to a bunch of made-up bullshit. Spectral evidence could include dreams or visions, meaning anybody with a grudge could cook up a story about having a dream of someone they didn't like doing something spooky.
Yeah, so you could cook up a story and put the six of us in the meat grinder.
And that person was pretty much guaranteed to be put on trial. Once the dust had settled, 12 women and 6 men had been executed. Although being burned at the stake is the way most people imagine witches being put to death, nobody was roasted during the Salem witch trials. All 18 people convicted of witchcraft were hanged at the gallows after being coerced into confessing to a pact with the devil. One person executed during the trials met a different fate, though, and his name was Giles Corey, and he was a fucking badass.
Wait, Giles Corey. Yeah. Before we get into that, wait, if you have to admit that you worship the devil to be a witch.
Yeah, that's what the belief was, is that witches were pretty much...
So they would torture you until you would just admit it so you could get killed so you didn't have to fucking suffer.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's why torture isn't a very good way to get information out of people, because eventually you're going to say whatever it is they want you to say just to get them to stop torturing you.
Just to get the fuck out of there. Yeah.
And that's pretty much what happened with the Salem. Well, I mean, that's what happened with all of the witch trials throughout history. Is people would just be tortured to the point that they would confess just so they wouldn't be tortured anymore, and they would be executed because it eventually death becomes more. Death doesn't look so bad after you've been tortured for long enough. But there were a few different ways historically that they would. I mean, it's the way that all these witch trials work is so fucking dumb, because so one of the ways that they used to test to see if somebody was a witch is something that they called ducking. And
it's the water bullshit. I've heard about
what they would
this.
do is they would tie you up and throw you in the water, and if you sank, you weren't a witch, but you would drown. And if you floated, you were a witch, and they'd execute you. So there's no way to get out of the situation without dying.
Yeah, that's dumb. And that really happened for... How long did that happen before, like, some fucking dork like you that lived in the village was like, hey, you guys, you understand that there's no way out of this?
Oh, it would have been...
Because it would take somebody with a logical mind that would be like, you guys, this is obviously so stupid.
And then they'd be like, you know what?
Is no one talking?
You know what? You're right. You must be a fucking witch. And then...
So that means you're a witch. Let's see if you can float or drown. That's so dumb. Like, how was that real? Like, and that was really a test they did for a certain amount of time.
Yep. Yeah, and
slaughtering each other and fighting and battling for this or that or some dumbass reason, and then you're at war forever. That's cool. Like, war is cool.
That's fine. I can get
it's
that.
Literally like a trial where a woman has to fucking throw a brick in the water, and if she sinks, she's not a witch, and if she floats, she's a witch. So you're dead either way, and no one thought of this.
It
no
seems
one saw how
it seems pretty
fucking
fucking stupid, right?
Like, it's so stupid. Like, it's one of the stupider things. I've heard this so many times. I understand fighting for stupid religious reasons, and I understand, like, two opposing sides, two big families, two big worlds, battling for nothing. This is the dumbest fucking shit out of all of that.
Yeah,
it's worse than all of it.
It's fucking
so
stupid.
Fucking stupid.
So fucking stupid.
If you drown, you're not a witch. Okay, well, she wasn't a witch. You just killed her. So now are you a murderer? Like, do people get murdered? Like, you're a murderer.
No, so the way that works is because this was all so heavily influenced by their religious beliefs, pretty much the idea was God will recognize the innocent. So if you do die during the process, that's fine because that just means that
you're fine because you're
God's going to take pity on you. He's going to take your soul to heaven. So it's all good.
That makes sense,
right?
That actually makes sense.
I mean, it's dumb, but yeah, it makes sense.
That's how it happened. Okay,
and
you answered my question.
Yeah, that's how it works. You know, something that's kind of interesting. Back in the day, public executions, I'm talking about like back in
like last week.
Yeah. You know, back in the day. No, back like in probably between, I don't know the exact dates off the top of my head, but back when public executions used to be a common occurrence, there would be like if it was a long drawn out torture, like similar to what William Wallace went through, those actually used to be very like sacred religious moments for everyone. The person being tortured and executed a lot of times would be able to choose what hymns, what religious hymns the audience would sing. They would call out parts of prayers and the audience would call it back to them because they believed that the whole process was it like mortification of the flesh for the purity of the soul. So the person would be going through a horrendous torture, but there would also be a certain amount of religious reverence that went along with it. Because even if the person being killed knew they were innocent, they knew that because they were innocent and they were going through this, it was that much more guaranteed that they were going to be going to heaven for it. We'll do an episode on like public executions and torture and things like that at some point in the future because it's a horrible but really interesting process where it was a religious event for everyone, just in a very, very strange way.
I got a question for you. I know you're in a place where these tangents aren't the best right now, but first off, the different dimensions and the different senses. There could be a race, something that's more advanced than us, right? That's like on this higher level where we can't even understand it because it's the same as like us and ants, you know, like the level of all the different tiers of life and just the universe and the way everything works. There's higher tiers. So science could be another tier that's doing the same thing that religion did. And we just have no fucking clue. And we're going to believe science and we're going to believe that aliens exist and we're going to believe all this crazy shit that we're believing now and the effects and the damage it's doing. We don't even realize it until we find out that there's a next thing. So for humans, it was like savagery, suffering, torturing each other, killing each other, fucking each other, and then we came up with religion, and religion saved us, and then it got worse again and worse again, and then we came up with science, and then it got worse again and worse again, and then we're going to come up with the next thing.
Science 2.0.
No, it'll be something else, because we didn't know what the fuck anything was until religion
Super
happened,
science.
And then science happened. No, it'll be something else. It'll be called like Kaiyoshi. Or it'll be called like Soto.
Oh,
We won't know. We don't know.
okay, yeah. I mean,
But it's the.
I guess I could see
It's
that.
around the same level of fucking insanity where like now everyone just believes in science so much, like it's the end all believe all bullshit, and it ain't.
Well,
It fucks up all the time. It's wrong all the time.
I think
just like religion.
I think the difference with
and eventually it'll go to the next.
the
tier.
difference with science is that science is all about finding empirical evidence and
facts or alternative facts. Yeah.
well, I mean, just it's the search for the
Science
truth.
is about like
in general.
changing the definition. That's what you want it to be. There are scientists out there that want to get rich, and they will fucking lie and say that science does this and that, and they're using it the same way that people used religion back in the day to drop fucking women in the ocean with a rock tied to their legs.
Yeah. I mean, any system that creates some sort of power is going to be abused by people. Any power at all is going to be abused by somebody.
Religion used to be the biggest power where you could manipulate people. Now it's becoming science.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm with you on this. I love fucking outer space. I love time travel. I love technology. I love just show me the fucking truth. Show me the facts about it. But the crazy thing about the way the world works and the way life is people are fucking smart enough where they can take science and use it against you and fucking lie right to your face.
People are corrupt enough. Yes.
In a way, it's like the next evolution in religion. It's the new religion.
Yeah, I could see that.
With different morals and bullshit and blah, blah, blah. We already know this.
Yeah,
It's just because for some reason, this water that I'm drinking has vodka in it. and it's fucking my day up. So please continue. Oh, I forgot to look at the lens for like an hour.
Oh, good.
I love you, Coop. It's me, Joel. I love you.
So Giles Corey was accused of witchcraft, but according to the law at the time, the accused was required to enter a plea or else they couldn't be tried for the crime. Corey refused to plead either guilty or not guilty, so the court was forced to fall back on the tried and true process of torture to get what they wanted. The torture they used on Corey was called pressing. Pressing is a process in which the victim is laid on the ground and a plank of wood is placed on top of them. Stones are then stacked on the plank until the weight is so unbearably heavy the prisoner acquiesces to the demands of the court or they die. This was the torture Giles Corey was subjected to.
Fuck.
Corey was stripped naked, laid on the ground, and a plank of wood placed across his body. The court officials then began having stones stacked on his body, slowly increasing the weight as they continued to demand he enter a plea for his crime. Corey refused, and more stones were added. This continued for over 2 days. Finally, with a crushing amount of weight pressing the life from his body, the court once again demanded Corey enter a plea. Mustering all of his strength, he spoke for the first time since his torture began. After taking what little breath he could, he said 2 simple words: "More rocks." He soon died of suffocation.
Holy shit.
So yeah, when they wanted him to enter his plea, he just said, "More rocks. Just keep stacking them on there." And
he never admitted nothing.
And he still died for it, but he never pled guilty to being a witch.
Holy shit.
And
he died
for it.
Yeah,
and he still died for it. Mass hysteria is usually blamed for the horrors of the Salem witch trials, but modern investigations may have identified a more likely culprit. Ergotism is a condition that results from being poisoned by ergot, which is a fungus that grows on different types of grain.
What is it
Ergotism, ERGOTISM.
Ergotism.
Symptoms of ergotism include...
What the fuck is this shit?
Symptoms of ergotism include spasms and seizures, much like those experienced by Elizabeth Parris and Abigail Williams, the first 2 girls thought to be victims of witchcraft. The poisoning eventually begins to affect the central nervous system, which can lead to psychosis. Chances are the horrors of the Salem witch trials were nothing more than the result of moldy grain combined with a feud between 2 powerful families which led to the execution of 18 innocent people. If you think that putting people to death for witchcraft or sorcery is a thing of the past, think again. The conviction and execution of alleged witches has waned over the years, but still holds strong in some parts of the world. In 2010, a woman was burned to death in Ghana after being accused of being a witch. Between 2011 and 2012, Saudi Arabia convicted and publicly beheaded 2 people for witchcraft. And most recently, Somalia executed a man for practicing witchcraft in September of 2020. Instead of burning or decapitation, Somalia chose to use the more modern method of death by firing squad, which is probably the only witch to ever be killed by firing squad in history. It's also interesting. It's interesting to note that all of these countries are on the UN Human Rights Council. But yeah, still at.
Wait, what does that mean?
They're on the United Nations Human Rights Council. Like they're the council that kind of determines
what's. Well, dude, if you're a fucking witch and you're doing witchcraft, you should be killed. I agree with that. But I don't agree with like accusing everybody of being a witch and killing a bunch of innocent people. But if you're doing some fucked up witchcraft, yeah, you should be killed.
Well, I mean, how do you?
Witchcraft is real, Coop.
Real is it's a real concept. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing that. I mean, people can't actually cast spells.
It's the same as like the Unabomber shit. Like, well, it's not casting spells and shit, but it's like obsessing over, like, punishing people and fucking with people and being shitty to people for no reason. So you're telling me if you walked into a room and there was like a lady or a man, let's just say a man so it's safer. There's a man, and he's got fucking, like, body parts and weird shit going on, and he's got a broom, and he's casting spells, and he's, like, dooming people in his mind, and then you just, like, track... They're doing fucked up shit. They're not just sitting there doing that. If they believe they're a witch, they're like cutting fingers off, and they're doing fucked up shit. They're sick.
Well, if they're actually, like, mutilating and poisoning people, then, yeah, they can get punished for that. If they were...
Oh, that's what witches do, Coop. What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, I'm saying... So, what I'm...
Witches are real. They're like, they just have a big facade that blinds you. Like, oh, it's fucking fairy tale bullshit. That's why they can get away with, like, stabbing you, like... When you're like, you're just trying to get a beer and they don't like you and they cast 6 spells on you, and then in their mind they think the spell worked, so now they are legally allowed by the laws of witchcraft to go and fucking shank your ass.
Legally allowed by who? I mean, remember the part where I told you that...
By whatever the fuck they make up
that there were 2 people beheaded for it between 2011 and 2012. A woman burned to death for it.
Yeah, well, why were they beheaded? Because they probably found out that these witchcraft motherfuckers were doing some shady shit.
Or it could be because it happened in a country that I think just recently started allowing women to drive. So they might have some slightly backwards beliefs.
What country allowed
Saudi Arabia.
I thought they would learn from America at least that was a mistake. Bad joke, sorry.
All right, well, let's wrap this up because I am ready to go take a nap.
Okay, Coop, so last thing real quick. So you're saying that witchcraft doesn't exist at all?
Well, I mean, it exists in the sense that it's a concept.
Like a mental disability.
Well, no, I mean, like you can
cast spells and poison people. And
I mean, you can try and cast spells. They're not going to do shit. I'm saying, so witchcraft is real the same way that like it's like playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Right, but that's the same shit like video games causing kids to go crazy and do GTA in real life, or causing them to go do something for real. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that this witchcraft shit, all the bullshit that happened, yeah, that shouldn't have happened. It was a little extreme. But literally, I think that witchcraft and that type of stuff was like the first video games. It's the same shit. When you're influenced by something, no matter what it is, if you were a witch, you were like, I'm a witch. And there was this boy at school, and And, fuck, he's not gay like me. So I'm going to fucking cast some spells. I'm going to make a potion here. I need baby's blood. All right, so my parents just had another kid. I have a little brother. I'm going to fucking, like, pinch him and, like, get some blood from him, put it in a potion, grab some other shit, so I'm going to drink that. And then I think that it worked, right? Because I think I'm a witch. And you do another thing, and you do another thing, and you're sitting here and you're thinking you're a witch.
If you're hurting or mutilating people for any reason...
That's how all the witches work, dude. That's what witchcraft is.
Well, no, I mean, it's not all that witchcraft is. I mean, there's...
Oh, so you believe in good witches, like the good witch from fucking The Wizard of Oz. Oh, shit, she was hot, though.
No, I mean, there's right-hand path magic and left-hand path magic. There's chaos magic. Like, there's a bunch of different...
Wait, what?
We'll get into that in another episode, but there's...
You know about... Are you a witch?
No.
Did you tap into the dark arts?
No.
Coop, I'm staring right in the lens.
If I were a witch, I would cure myself of whatever this horrible disease I have is.
Is that what you're doing? Wait, why did you pinch my arm earlier?
No reason.
So if you've dabbled in witchcraft in the past, are you part of the Dark Carnival?
Yes, I am a full-fledged juggalo.
See? And all juggalos are witches. They all deserve to die.
No, they're not witches. They're juggalos. They're juggalos and juggalettes.
Well, some of them. And they do some fucked up shit, and they get themselves killed all the time.
Yeah, primarily from drug overdose. All right, let's call it a day.
You've heard it here first, folks.
Juggalos are witches? Is that?
Juggalos are witches, and also witches were the first video games.
That's it for this week.
According to
join us again next week for, I don't know what the topic's going to be yet, but I'm sure it's going to be a good time.
Can we do mayhem, please?
Sure. Well,
oh, yeah, that was part of why I put this on, even though I'm sick. I'm dying of COVID. I've been quarantined for 14 days. No one cares about me. No one loves me. I put on this corpse paint because I really want to do an episode on mayhem.
We will do we will do an episode on mayhem at some point, but we're going to have to do that episode in corpse paint.
I just did corpse
I know, you should have thought about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep saying that next week we're doing mayhem, and you have to wear corpse paint, and I'm going to see how many weeks in a row I can get you to wear corpse paint. Follow us on Instagram.
Well, that puts me in a fucked up...
At Icon...
That puts me in a fucked up position, dude. If I don't do it, then you're never going to do mayhem. If I keep doing it, maybe if I do it enough, you'll be like, well, fuck, Joel's done it 20 episodes.
There's only one way to find out.
I should just do... Don't make me wear corpse paint on the goddamn episode, dude.
I didn't make you wear corpse paint in this episode. So as I was saying...
You can follow Coop at Coop Nukem. You can follow Joel at Joel R. Benner on Instagram. You can follow Iconoblast on Instagram. You can follow Iconoblast at Iconoblast Podcast. Wait, is it Iconoblast or Iconoblast
At
Podcast?
Iconoblast. And God willing, we will survive this next week. Because I don't feel like I'm going to make it.
Yeah. We're sick, we're tired, but we're still here.
And we will continue
go on
making
iTunes
this show
and
until we literally cannot physically do it anymore.
Yeah.
All right.
Coop, I love you.
I love you too, Joel. And we'll see all of you nice people next week. Yeah, doing this without both of us being in the same room is weird.
It's weird. I think we should video chat next time. I think if we video chat and put like the laptop right by the camera.
Yeah.
It might feel more real, but actually, no, it's okay, though. I kind of like hearing your voice in my ear. It reminds me when you used to kiss my ears.
God damn it. Well, hopefully next week we won't be sick anymore so we can do this in the same room.
Yeah.
All right. We will see everybody next week.
Thanks for all that information on witches, man. I learned a lot.
Anytime. I'm sure you did. This has been the Iconoblast Podcast. My name is Matt Cooper.
I'm Joel Benner.
And we're reminding you to never take anything at face value.
Ever. Science is witches.